sometimes it's really challenging to keep consistency. We are playing like a mind games with ourselves to take us to actually where we want to go. It's not about actually the market or whatever we create. It's inside of us. I'm doing this, and many times for me, it's still challenging to keep consistency. But I notice that because I've been pushing for so many years, it makes it easier than before, but it's still, I can't sleep. If I sleep, I lose consistency. If I sleep, I will get, a kick from life. So more and more, I believe that it's a forever game. At the same time, that makes really fun because it's kind of like we are never ready, It's kind of like, oh, how much more we think we're getting closer. If you believe that you're already there, it's kind of like now you're gonna fall. So I'm sharing that with you because I believe that's also for you. I'm sure that's challenging sometimes even to show up to a call. I know that sometimes you're like, oh my God, I'm gonna be in this call. I don't want to hear Ricardo. I don't want to meet these people. But when we do, it's always great after a while. For me, it's always like this. It's like going to the gym. So I feel that the mastermind, it's actually a gym. We don't want to go. And then after the training, we are happy that we went. We're going to work a little bit with one pitch that I don't know if you heard about. That's the Pixar pitch. Pixar, this cinematic company that create films. It's a really cool way to work, telling the world what we do. When somebody asks us this question, what do you do? I mean, we are in a mingle, we are at the street, or you meet somebody and they ask, okay, what do you do?
So I've actually done the pitch training, and I would say right now that I guide women in sales to have better confidence and make sales more fun and rewarding.
Before was a little more, now you're narrowing a bit, right? Or
yes, and it's a work in progress. Yeah, 100%. But it's a work in progress, and it's still in progress. But right now, yes, I've targeted it towards women a bit more. Yeah. For now,
it can change. It's free to change. Cool. How about you, Magnus?
I help teams to align their online collaboration and communication so they can be productive and work efficiently.
How about you, Aminata? What do you do for a living?
I work with creating digital experiences.
I run a film production company.
People always ask this question, like they want to know, what do you, they are not asking actually, who are you? I want to know about your soul. I'm not saying all the men and women, but usually people, it's the first question everywhere in the world. What do you do for a living? It's like the question I got a lot in Sweden. Varför är du här? I will tell you why I'm asking this question. But before that, I want to tell you that I'm living here in the forest, okay? So, but before I live in the forest, there was just a land. There was no houses or anything. And I never imagined that I was going to build something. So, I built one house and I built two houses, and my infrastructure need to grow. So I started having problems with water. How to bring water to the houses, because, the infrastructure of the government here is not so nice, but I need to find a way to bring water to the houses because I rent the houses. And, okay, everything was great. We find a way. I didn't know how to do. I was paying people to do for me. And I started to, observe without paying attention to what they were doing. And then one day, I had guests in my houses, and suddenly I get a call from one guest. And they say, there is no water in the house. And I was not here. I was in the other house, out far away from here where I am. And I was like, fuck, what should I do now? The gas is home. There is no water. And I need to call a guy that works around here so that he would come here and fix the thing. And then I call him. And then he took like 4 hours to come here and fix the water for the gas. Okay. It was really bad. Another day, that happened the same with another guest. I was not here. The guest called me, Ricardo, there is no water. And then I need to find a way. And then I said, okay, I need to fix that. How am I going to learn that? And then one day I said, okay, I'm going to ask the guy that knows how to do to explain to me how it works. And then it was like a really, really confused system. But for him, it was really easy. Okay, could you please explain to me? And he started to explain to me. He explained to me, and I was like, okay. Cool, I got it. You know, and then another day the water finished, and I was here to fix. And I was like, and now he explained to me, I'm gonna do it. And then I tried to do, but I could not do. You know, he explained to me I didn't manage, and I had to call him, and then he need to come and do for me again. And then I said, bro, please, you already explained to me. Can you demonstrate to me how you do? So I follow. And then he started to show me, you know, and then I said, okay, bro, now I got it. I got a problem, and he already had explained to me and demonstrate to me. And I tried to do one more time, and I didn't succeed. And then I had to call him again. Hey, bro, shit, I cannot make this thing. I cannot manage that. And then I said to him, okay, show me, and I will imitate you. He was showing me and said, hey, stay here. I'm gonna imitate. And then I did the same movements. Okay, so after here, you turn and you take, and then you press a button, and said, I follow him. Okay. This time I manage. Okay. And then I try another time, and then I forgot. And then he showed me again, and then I start to repeat. Okay. I repeat 1 time, 2 times, 3, 5 times, 10 times. And then finally, now I don't need this guy. I don't need him anymore. You know, I'm doing alone. And I feel really proud of that. You know what I mean? Because it was so painful to do that. But why I'm saying that to you? I'm saying that to you because there is a law. Okay? There is a law of learning something. And we that want to develop our public speaking skills, we need to know that this law is applied completely for public speaking. And the law, it's the law that follows what I told you: explanation, demonstration, imitation, repetition, 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 repetition. Okay? So public speaking is about repetition, like everything that you want to develop. And that's why I'm telling you this story, because today we are also going to repeat one technique. We're gonna do the technique that we done the other time, the structure that we done. Anybody remember?
Problem
remember
solution.
What else?
It was that one, right? You had a problem
here-
and you solution benefit.
We're gonna start our activity practicing problem, solution, benefit. Okay? Why? Repetition, as Tony Robbins says, and I really agree with him, repetition is the mother of all skills. We have to repeat if you want to develop. Okay? We're going to use problem, solution, benefit to answer the question, what do you do for living? We're going to take 3 minutes, so we write down, okay? Problem, solution, benefit, but answering the question, what do you do for living? We're gonna aim for maximum of 1 minute. So as I said, like, this is, you know, practicing. Maybe doesn't need to be right. There is no right and wrong. As we talk at that, sometimes our pitch changes. Many times my own pitch change, you know. So I think this is a process of discovering and refining and repeating. Let's start with Magnus.
Large corporations today, many groups and teams have problems with or they are actually mandated to use the cloud platform from Microsoft 365, and they have big problems in working in the same way. It seems that everybody has to invent their own way of working, or they don't work at all. So I have developed a framework where I coach the team to work in the same way, more or less. And with the framework, I include best practices from me as an expert in the field. I have designed routines for each of the individuals to take one little step at a time, a lot of repetition in the way of working, because that's what I learned from experts is a good way for transformation and learning. And I also give support one-to-one with individuals who have technical problems or have other issues. So what the team will notice is that they are actually developing and transforming the way of collaborating, and they can achieve the results more effectively and faster. and with better quality. And they also achieve the goals. They kind of align themselves towards the vision and goal of the team. And as an extra plus, they become happier also, because we work also with the how to behave in a digital world.
There are many small entrepreneurs who want to be more visible online. There are many writers who want their work to be heard. And there are many parents who want to support their children to become more resilient against racism. And I try to help them achieve this through creating digital experiences.
I help female closers stay confident and overcome their daily emotional roller coaster and achieve overall well-being in their lives with my different mindset shifting strategies and targeted coaching, making selling both fun and rewarding.
Well, since life is repeated the same way by most, and they live through the same taught meanings, beliefs, and assumptions and limitations, yet these people still believe that they have free will, even though they live by the choices and limitations handed to them. And since I was one of those people who was in this repetitive cycle, I taught myself how to break loose of it, but not just to do what I wanted to do or not be limited by my past. Instead, how to manipulate my emotional mind so that I can rationalize my reasons to act towards my goals, and also how to change my self-image so my perceptual control can lift me up towards where I want to be. And yeah, I help people remove their limits, but mostly what I feel is most important is to find their why, because most of us just live in a state of survival, living through the physical senses, like, oh, what can happen to me? What can happen to me? Or what things they believe matter, but matter is only the projection of a belief inside of them. And when they change their beliefs and meanings, they change how they perceive things and they change how they act, and then they change their results. And since I believe that everyone inside of them has an actual place in life, I I have molded my own form of meditation, which is going into pure consciousness and going away from all taught truth. And then there is only one truth left for you, and that is your place of life. You don't have to effortlessly, like, what am I going to visualize? It's like, no, you are seeing what you are meant to be, and it is going into your consciousness now. And then you are the consciousness that perceives the world that can.
So you have a product or service, but no impact. We help you to define your story and deliver it on stage or camera for impact. So you will have a digital clone attracting your target group and always ready to take, I can't see what I have written, take the mic. Okay. Always ready to take the always ready to take the mic on stage and capture any audience.
Wow. Mhm.
Okay, guys. So I'm gonna share mine with you. I was writing one, and then suddenly I'm gonna share a new idea that I have that so I practice also. Okay, problem. There is a lot of construction coming to the forest. A lot of new condos are coming to the forest, and they are coming wild, destroying the forest. And what we need, the thing is that these people that come, they see the forest and they destroy the piece of their land, but they see that that is still forest. But they don't know that the forest that is still there, it's also a piece of land of somebody that one day will destroy to build something. So this is the problem that we have. The solution is that we that lives in the forest, we need to gather the society, the people that lives here around, to create an organization to go and change the consciousness of these new people that are arriving here, because they're not bad people. They just don't have the conscience that nature we should take care of them and preserve the trees. The benefit of that is that the new people will come. We're gonna have a development that's positive for the location. It's positive to bring and grow the economy, but we also will keep and preserve nature. Okay, so I'm practicing my project. Thank you. Let me ask you something. Do you remember when I told you about the story of the bees?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What would you do if a bee attack you? What would you do?
Jump into the
the
water.
bees. Yeah. The bees. Yeah, sure.
You would jump to the water, right? So you see how powerful stories are. You know,
Mm.
we learn by stories. So what I want to share with you is the next way of doing a pitch, the pixel pitch. It's a pitch. It's a way of pitching by using storytelling to create your pitch. It's being called like the modern way of pitching, because before this pitching that we did now, it's more like the old way of pitching. We just try to say what we do, what we sell. It's like BNE. You know what I mean? This BNE pitch that you stand up, you have 30 seconds, and everybody already knows shit. She's trying to sell something, or he's trying to sell something.
Yeah.
And we are not even listening anymore. We must be acta na pitcha. So the way to be acta, it's actually to try to put stories somehow. That's the new way of pitching. We are tired of this old way of pitching. It's so boring. We are all tired. It's kind of like we all know it's a little bit fake, because like the person's like repeating that in front of the mirror like the night before. Oh, blah, 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 blah. And then they come there, they stand up, and they're like, their eyes are not even blinking because they're trying to remember, the memory. And then no, the funka inte. We need to connect humans. We are humans. So the Pixar pitch, it's a great way to train storytelling to a pitch. And they have a formula, okay, that they give. And I'm going to share with you the formula. And we're going to try to adapt the same question, what do you do for a living? Of course, it takes time for us to develop them, but I think it's a really great way to storytell what we do. How much more we do that, we also learn more about ourselves and what we do. Once upon a time, there were thousands of leaders that were finishing their lives frustrated and unfulfilled. Every day, these leaders would promise to themselves that tomorrow they would finally start to speak their mind, to share their gifts to the world. But they would never do. One day, I came along with a methodology called Speak to Inspire that would change their beliefs about their public speaking skills, plus teaching them techniques to empower them to express themselves. Because of that, many of the leaders are now inspiring other people. Because of that, some new politicians are arriving to generate change, until finally we have a world where the positive voices have more space than the negative voices.
That was amazing.
Tack så mycket.
I just have a question. I agree. I totally agree. But like you said, in BNE and in this business world, we learn how to, just say a pitch, as if you're in an elevator. And you don't have time to say all that when you just meet someone, to tell a story like that. I agree that that's going to stick longer and it wakes up the emotion, all that. But what's your take on that? That, when you go to a networking event, you can't, you can, but usually you don't have time. You don't have the attention to tell a story like that.
I mean, I didn't practice the story. Okay. I was reading. And that's also, that's also because that's why, if I practice that, it's going to be a lot more smoothie and less time to tell that without running. But I understand what you mean. But I think also that we, as, outsiders, we should not respect so much that's my opinion. I mean, the 30 seconds rule that everybody's doing equal, because anyway, nobody's listening anyway. So if we do different, maybe somebody will listen and remember us.
I love the answer, Ricardo. I love it.
No, I was just thinking like everything also has its, I mean, it's good also to have that quick pitch.
Yes,
I think it's
perfect.
nothing wrong with it.
And you can also like maybe wave it into like say, you know how you see people that have so much to say, you can tell them like that instead of like this, like this very robotic way. So you can do like this, yeah.
Yeah. For me, I was like, I really like more my pitch like this than the way it was before. I felt a lot more like me, repetition, repetition, repetition. How much more I repeat that be more smoothie and easy to pass.
Maybe in the future, people will say, "Oh, now you're story selling instead of storytelling." It's like people. It's going to be so common that people tell stories, and then people are tired of that. Maybe in 10 years.
No, they're already
I don't know.
using this. They're already saying
Yeah.
that. That is a term
Yeah.
already called story selling. As Gary Vaynerchuk says, markets ruin everything. So maybe storytelling one day will be also
But
perceived as a bullshit. But I believe that authenticity is the asset.
But maybe storytelling is so profoundly human that it's actually authentic forever. Like we need to communicate through stories. So even if you're selling something, it's the way to do it.
What you said is really interesting because many people will think that tell stories is like, know how to tell a story and not how to be the story, how to bring your authenticity, how to bring who you are to the story. They will think, I'm going to follow this formula. And then we're going to be like, shit, the physique and head, there is no soul, on that. In my opinion, like how much more human will be from now on. We're gonna be the ones that gonna be winning because AI, robots, everybody gonna be equal. I mean, how much more different and authentic, and of course, having techniques and courage to be who you are, that will be the way out. Because everybody's gonna be equal. If we compare Europe with, let's say, Colombia and Brazil, I already feel a huge difference. That like how much more rich the country is, easier to like accept it being robotic. It is, not. It is not a critic. That's just like the way we should be thinking. That what will free us more and more, it's actually to be who we are as a human.
I think this is such a big topic, Ricardo. Also, like you said in the beginning, like when you ask, like, who are you, or what you do, but like I said, many people don't even, they don't even know how to answer the question, who are you? And I realize that now when I'm here in Colombia, and yes, I agree with you, but we meet many expats. So literally the first thing people say is like, yes, I make this much in revenue and I do this and that. And I'm like, oh my God. So I've really made it a challenge to always try to connect with the person and raise the feeling in them rather than to tell them what I do or any pitch. It's like, okay, how can I make them feel something so they will never forget how I made them feel rather than what I said, right? Because I will forget how many millions this person made in revenue, and I would forget how many clients that person has, right? So I've made it a challenge now to like make them feel something instead.
We are human beings. Let's try to apply this formula now in our own stories. I'm gonna put the formula here, okay? So try to do the same pitch and answer. What do you do for a living with this pixel structure? I mean, the pitch will be completely different than the other one. This also is a great way maybe to do, not a live pitch, but like a video, you know what I mean? That works a lot more in video format.
But Ricardo, why don't you give us this as a homework to make a video about this?
Yes, that's the idea.
No, really? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm really motivated to do it. So
Magnus already guessed what we're gonna do. We're gonna take that as a challenge. Remember, the whole idea of this mastermind is actually keeping consistency for all of us, keeping repeating. So the exercise also is a moment to keep repeating and forcing us. Sometimes in life we need to be forced. Oh, we don't do. Now I know it's really nice to have somebody forcing you to do something because you grow. I'm here and you are doing that for me. You are forcing me, to be here. And I have to reverse engineer that. So it's really cool that you do the exercise also and use that in your favor.
and then you see. And when I first read it, I was like, because of that, I was like, will it? I mean, I thought it would be a bit more condensed, but when you did, it was like, okay, of course, that's perfect. It'll work perfectly.
So as I told you, and I didn't practice, so it flows. It just it feels like a story. You know, it will flow also. If you imagine a story, you know, I think that's the trick here. Your product or a transformation that product generated.
Can I just share my pitch quick? There was a time when only brands like Coca-Cola could make an impact. Everyday healthy options are declining in the marketplace until entrepreneurs with good intentions start to practice impactful communication. Because of that, they started to be confident to take the microphone and spread their voice. Until finally, the demand for good started to rise.
Yes, that was great. But I'm saying, let's try to explore the storytelling part. Let's try to tell a story, bring more of a story. Not you, Christian. I'm saying I'm not talking about you. I'm saying like the exercise. It meant to, you know, it's a Pixar strategy. They bring that on stories.
Can I share mine?
Okay,
Once
share.
upon a time, when I was a small girl, every day my dad used to tell me that you're supposed to become Swedish. At that time, I didn't really understand what he meant. One day, when I had become a little bit bigger, I was playing with some other kids, and suddenly I found myself in a situation where I was participating in mobbing, harassing really a girl of Indian descent because of her skin color and her looks. And all because I admired an older boy whom I wanted to impress. So because of that, when my father heard about this, he became completely furious. He took me and my siblings, who had also been there, he took us and started to give us a grand lecture about injustice, racism, how you cannot do things like this to other people. And on top of that, we had to ask the girl to forgive us. The girl told us that she never wanted to see us again. I felt such deep shame when my father took us through this. And like the whole summer, he just kept on lecturing us about these things, about colonialism, the West oppressing the poorer countries, and races and stuff like that. At that time, I didn't really realize that my father had also been the victim of racism when he grew up. So because of that, because of this big lecture that my father gave me, or the scolding that he gave me, I became much more aware of these things. And now, until finally, today, I'm working with developing now a platform to educate parents on how to teach their kids not to be racist, and also how to help their children to become more resilient if they are non-white to racism.
Great.
That was great.
Thank you.
So if you understand what I mean,
Fantastic.
if I would ask you, it's not a comparison, and Aminata, which one has more emotion? Not a comparison, it's technique. Which one you felt more emotion? Aminata. Why? Because that's what I want you to practice. This is storytelling. She told us a story. We were there in a story. So that's the point of this exercise, storytelling. And that's a lot stronger. I was like, you know, of course, Aminata, you can craft a little bit, but you got the point of this exercise, my friends. We do the exercise. Let's put the date, 25 of March, the last day.
Yeah.
So what was good for you?
I think what's good for me is when you were more active in the film production company, you always did like that when we were going to write a film script. And I was normally writing it. So I was like, okay, I'm going to my office to write it. And you were like, no, come here. You do it here on that screen in front of everyone. And I'm like, okay, I feel like more comfortable, sit by myself. I don't need to, have spelling errors and stuff like this in front of everyone. But then we came up with script I would never come up with by myself. So this forcing and also like in front of people, like it happens things that wouldn't happen when you are like in your safe little office corner. So again, I had this experience today that I used to have when we worked more in the film production company. So that's really cool.
I think it's good that you also explain sometimes the psychology of why we do things and how it's perceived, not only like, okay, this is how you can do it, now we do it, and then, because I think for me at least, I understand why, and also from the other side, then it's easier for me to get motivated and do it, rather than just do something. Then, you know, you give us this like, because of this, because of that, first that you explained, and then that you did it. Yeah, so it was many layers of teaching that I think is that I like, makes it applicable.
Yes, nice. Thank you.
I love that you're throwing us in the water, just as if we were hunted by bees. We just have to try these methods. And I was like, this story I told is a story that I've been thinking of, you know. So this actually, the script helped me to develop the idea a bit
Yes,
further. I'm so
amazing.
happy. So happy.
And everybody, like you saw, everybody was like feeling it.
Yeah.
So I'm happy you're feeling that.
I also like the script that you gave us because it's kind of like sometimes a story can be kind of outdrawn, but now it shifts. You know, you go from every day to one day to because of that and because of that, and you're like it's kind of always like every, depending on how long it is, but every 20 seconds you're like, oh, now it's something different instead of just consuming the same thing.
And I thought it was really great that, you know, that Christina, also you brought, even if it was not the you know what we put it, because it makes rich, because we could see Aminata, and then we understand, as Adele said, it's not just like a formula, you know. We saw the meaning, we all felt the meaning when she was telling the story of why stories make difference, you know.
But I also
Okay.
love Christina's piece when she put it in the script, because the script made it more alive, you know?
Yes, for sure.
Mm.
Okay, my friends, great to see you. I hope to see you live soon. Hey guys, ciao. Beijo.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Have a good one.
Thank you.
Ciao.
Thank you. Bye.